Ariel.
And I'm Becca.
And welcome to Wine Wednesdays. You said that in the beginning that you work on a timeline. So again, you already have the ability and the knowledge of creating a timeline as a wedding planner.
Yeah.
So as a photographer, when you're working with other planners on that, is there any conflict? Like, is there any way to make it easy? Because you know from your background what to do, and they are coming to you with a different timeline. Sometimes it's completely different than your norm, what you're used to. So how do you adjust? Like, is it your way because you're doing all the photos, or is it more of the planner way? I'm actually asking for more of an insight,
It's interesting.
We've never had it, but, you never know with some of the photographers that, our clients could choose. So
no, it's so true, because I feel like I have such knowledge of like how we make our timelines, but I'll say usually either I will have a meeting as a planner. Well, as a planner, I would hope to like have a meeting with the photographer on my own, and then if I were a photographer, I'd want to have a meeting with the planner. So either way, you should be in communication so that we're getting the client's needs. That's the biggest thing, is like if the client wants a specific timeline and they're super like keen on getting everything done, we need to work together to make sure we're hitting the checkpoint for everything. If they're chill, then I usually base it off of my photography timeline, and that's like the most important timeline that the planner will take into consideration.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we ask for that.
It always blends through, but I don't ever want to step on like a photographer's toes. I mean, I'm the planner, I'm always in the background. They'll never see me in a photo, but I never want to make a photographer, feel like I'm stepping on their toes, or that I'm taking over everything, or that I need them to be pulled in certain directions. That's why that timing of like, let's buffer it and we'll say it's 2 hours is important to me as a planner, because I need to know where my clients are at every moment in time. If I need them for something, God forbid, or, the mother of the bride or the groom needs them, all that jazz. So
they work well together, a planner and a photographer.
Is it ever hard for you to switch hats from photographer to planner and vice versa?
Oh my gosh, for sure. I feel like I definitely sometimes will try to put on both roles at the same time, and I'm like making sure the cake is going out at the same time, or if there's a problem, I'll want to help. And it's like, no, I'm here to shoot. But at the same time, like, they do overlap. A lot of the event planning, wedding planner questions that I would have of like, oh, what time is this, directly correlates to my photography timelines that I'm sticking to.
Okay.
But, yeah, for sure.
And what kind of equipment do you use? Like, on a wedding, like, what equipment is you have to bring?
Tripods for speeches and various, like, it depends if I'm doing videography too. That kind of changes everything. Then I'm like getting all my stabilizers, and I wear this like bodysuit thing where like it stabilizes the camera, so I'll have that for videography. But photography, my cameras, all my cards and batteries, what you said, I have like a little suitcase with everything in it. I also bring my laptop, and like in case I have time to like download photos or anything like that. But yeah, just my main equipment, my cameras.
And are there any programs or apps, that you find have seriously helped you or help you with editing and things like that?
Yeah, I would say the two main things, I use Photoshop and Lightroom for editing purposes, and then DaVinci Resolve for video editing. Sometimes if it's like a teaser video, I'll literally just stick it in iMovie and do it, but DaVinci Resolve is really good. But those are main ones. I don't have to use Photoshop a lot, usually, like for like main issues or something, if there's like something on someone's shirt. But yeah, those are the main ones.
So I'm going to jump back to your packages and some other stuff. So you also talked about videography. So what videography packages do you offer? Do you bundle them together? And if you bundle them together, how many people do you need to, like, which one do you go towards, I guess? And, how many people do you need a part of that team? Or is it one or the other?
Yeah, I definitely will combine them for weddings. If I'm doing both, I need like a team of 2 to 3 people. Same with just if I'm doing video, I'll need at least, I can technically do videography on my own. Same with photography, but it's always nice to have a second shooter. So 2 to 3 people for either or. And then I do videography packages just separately, because some people, I've done a lot of like baby shower and bridal shower videography. People want to like capture the day in a little montage. So I do a lot of those like reel type videos for people. So definitely a plethora of like customizable packages for that. But bundling does kind of make it easier if I have a larger team. But that's like at least 3 to 4 people if I'm doing both, because I'm having so many
hats that day, yeah.
But it's nice because you get to like have videography and photography rather than like sometimes photographers and videographers can butt heads a little, so.
Yes, or you're in my shot and things like that.
Right.
Yeah. Just to make sure that we reiterate, Rebecca, when she does wedding planning, she doesn't do photography. She may do a few things for us, like promotional stuff, but it is solely just wedding planning. And when she's doing photography and videography, it is solely on that. It's not wedding planning, even though
I try
it definitely overlaps for sure. But just to make sure that anybody that did want to book her, that they do know that is important.
Yes, for sure. Definitely focused on that.
So to talk about your packages, do you include engagement sessions? Do you find them necessary?
Yes, they are completely helpful, and yes, I do offer them as a part of my wedding package. So that is a super cool way to get to know the couple. And it also just helps me understand their style, understand how they interact for the wedding day, if they're camera shy, if they're not, different poses, and it's just nice to have that time to build that relationship because your photographer should be there that whole day making you feel better and capturing some really cool moments.
So when should clients schedule their engagement sessions with you then?
Yeah, I would say the average, if you're planning like a year out, would be 3 to 5 months of being engaged. It depends when you kind of want to get it, as soon as you want to get it out there. But yeah, 3 to 5 months is what I've seen. Although I have seen some quicker ones, like a week after engagement, they're like being engaged, they're like, let's book it.
Good Lord, they book it that quickly?
Ready to go.
Did they book the venue yet?
No.
Oh, so they booked the photographer for the venue.
Yeah.
Got it, okay. If you could, like, have somebody come in to the office and, like, grab a photo, and then you work with them on that style, whatever, would that be something that you'd be, like, would want to do? Like, before they even book, like, let me get you with one photo.
That's, like, an option. That's an interesting point. I think, yeah, like, I definitely, you bring up a good point. I definitely am able to kind of diversify my style a little bit. Some photographers have amazing styles and they stick to that style, and that's like why people book them, is because it's that style. For me, I like to ask my clients what type of style they like. Some are dark and moody, others are light and airy, others are like a little bit cooler toned. So it really depends. But yeah, if that's like an option for if they don't want to book an engagement session, I'd be like, hey, can I at least get some pictures to test out and see how we interact? But yeah, it's interesting.
What is the turnaround time for wedding photos?
Usually the norm is about 2 months to get everything out to the client. However, for myself, I usually get them done in like a week or two because I'm just so ready. But, you know, depending on the season and what I have going on, since I am a wedding planner and a photographer, it depends truly on the situation. But I love it, and I also do give out 10 photos the week of your wedding for a sneak peek.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Earlier, you mentioned about retouching, color adjustment, and corrective services. So does that come within the package, or is an additional charge? And how long does somebody have to, make a request like that?
So clients have up to a month to give revisions, whether that's for any type of photo they want to change or anything like that. For videography, they get one revision for up to a month of one wedding video revision. But the albums themselves, they have to download the photos within a month. They can pay extra for a disc or an album, like a physical album. Otherwise, they have up until a month to download them, and I still have access, like hard copies for myself, but publicly, that's all that they can have a month to.
Do you outsource for the albums, or do you create them yourself?
I create them myself, and that's where clients would have that month to determine whether they want any revisions, and then at that point we would begin the printing process and creating the album, and then it would be mailed to them or delivered in some way.
And do they get proofs beforehand, like if they want to switch the layout or what have you?
Usually I give them like a preview of it, but it's usually kind of just set in stone of the basic like timeline, because the way that I give my albums is in the timeline that the photos were taken, and in the same way that's kind of the flow of how the album goes, if that makes sense.
Yes. Rebecca does have some albums in the office, so if you're ever in the area and want to come in and take a look, absolutely, come by.
Yes, for sure.
What types of events do you like shooting the most? Now that could be, your baby showers, bridal showers, dance in my shoots.
That's a personal fave. Oh gosh, that's a really good question and really hard because there's so many.
We're comic relief when we do our
They
photo
are,
shoots.
because of how awkward you guys are. I'm kidding, you guys are great. I think I'd have to go with family sessions. That is just so fun to me because I'll have, whether it's dogs and like little kids, but that does create like dogs and kids too. Done a couple shoots with that. It was puppies and newborn babies. So cute. But it was really
I remember that
rough,
shoot, yes.
really rough to get them to smile and be happy. But yeah, I'd say family shoots or engagement shoots.
Oh, really?
'Cause
Engagement shoots.
I can just see the love between, and it's like such an exciting thing because you got your ring, they're like super over the moon. So families and engagements.
Do you ever see couples more excited during an engagement shoot than on their wedding day when it comes to looking at their faces and their expressions?
100%. Honestly, I have seen that because there's just that excitement of like, it's so far away and we're so excited. So I've seen people just like way more into it for the engagement
And
shoot.
they don't have those jitters. I guess that's the biggest
they're
thing.
stressed. Sometimes, you're stressed on your wedding day or you have so much on your mind. So I've seen a mix.
Mom's driving you nuts. But
Probably.
yeah.
I'd hope that it's, I mean, I
Consistent.
can't say I've never been married, but I can imagine you're stressed a lot on your wedding day. I mean, from our clients, we know there's a lot going on. But it's just the bliss of that engagement shoot.
So do you see why I want to do day of photos the day before?
Oh, here we go again with this rehearsal crap.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Okay, no problem, but are you hiring me to take your photos?
I mean, I think there's going to be multiple photographers. Unless you're in the bridal party,
I just
of
can't
course.
with her budget.
But she did tell me that she is leaving the country for my wedding, so
For
we'll
the
see.
planning, not for the wedding.
I'm glad that you finally
I have to be
elaborated and made sure that was correct. As a wedding photographer and videographer, what is it like to work with you on a wedding day?
Ooh, good one. It is, I would hope you would say, super fun. I want to just be like a friend that's taking photos with you and not somebody who's following you around and making you feel uncomfortable. My biggest thing that clients have said in the past that makes me feel so much better and like happy with what I do is they say it's just like a natural friend there, like helping you and capturing moments because I want to be their friend throughout the process and I want them to feel like they can just be themselves and almost like I'm not there, but my presence is there in a way, so just hoping that I can be that best friend for them.
That's awesome. We have to bring it up. What happens when either a family member wants to get certain photos but the bride and the groom don't, and how do you handle that? Or, how do you handle when they're done and they're tapped out from smiling and taking photos? Like, how do you handle those types of scenarios?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say listen to the client. It's truly whatever they want. I mean, they're paying me for their wedding day, so it's up to you. So unfortunately, if they don't want a picture with Aunt Janine, or something in that case, I just have to stand by my client, and I'll usually get the planner at that point, which is like us, and I'll just be like, hey, just to let you know, we're not getting this photo, just be aware. So yeah, and then for tapped out, if you're like, the bride and groom, are not into photos anymore, honestly, I just say, are you sure? Make sure they're aware that they won't be getting certain scenes and just clarify, because sometimes too when you have a lot to drink, you're like, just leave it, and then you regret it. So I will just try to listen to what I think is right. I'll still get candids if that's the case, but if they don't want any more planned pictures coordinated, I'll just say okay and I'll leave it.
Yeah, okay. That's awesome that you really are in tune with your clients and that you really care about their needs and what they want on, of course, their wedding day. And you're not, again, it definitely stems from the wedding planning and the wedding photography and videography, just giving them that all-around top-notch service that they deserve.
Yeah, and I'm sure you can relate to this, from our event planning background. It's really hard when we get clients or when we hear voices of other people wanting something, because we want to make everyone happy at the same time. We have a dedication and loyalty to our clients, but when people are telling you and coming at you, you want to make sure everyone's happy, so it is hard.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's hard.
What sets you apart from other wedding photographers?
Okay, yeah. I think something that sets me apart is just my connection to my clients. I am still friends with so many of my clients, and we'll have them for, like, if I did an engagement shoot and they're married and have kids, like, they'll book me for that. And just the loyalty of my clients, like, we just really have that bond. And I think it just comes from, like, the flexibility that I'm willing to put out of, hey, if you want this photo edited in a different way, or how can I help reduce this cost, or, help do something for you. It's just that ease of communication and relationship. Another thing is truly the fact that I'm also a wedding planner, because I have background of how the day should flow and how I can help clients from previous experiences. So having that background already kind of sets me apart in that sense. In a good way, hopefully.
Of course. I would also like to add that, after I've been working with you for so long, I've seen you take, clients that you've worked with them one day for their wedding and then become lifetime clients for you, where you do their wedding, then you do their maternity shoot, then their baby shower, and then, their family holiday portraits.
Yeah, it's so fun.
It's like the most amazing thing to see that relationship that you form. I mean, again, we'll do their engagement party, then we'll do their bridal shower, then we'll do their wedding, and then we'll do their anniversary party, later down the road. So it's definitely rewarding having those lifetime clients, and that's truly why, in the industry, I want those lifetime clients, and I'm sure that you could say the same.
No, that goes for both of us.
Is there any advice that you would give to photographers just starting out?
Yeah, I would say not only, like, researching your equipment well, researching, like, what you're interested in, what kind of, like, taking sample photos and testing things out and learning things, but the true experience is learning from a professional. So I'd say interning with either a photography company or, like, getting some sort of photography job, but wedding planning, if you intern in that, you'll get to see the chaos of wedding planning, which is, like, actually very helpful.
It's beautiful chaos.
It is. No bad chaos. Well, sometimes, but
depends on the day.
Yeah, interning, because that's where I kind of started, was with you interning and determining how the industry works, and that really helped lay the groundwork for how I want to build my photography business and how I want to interact with my clients. So internships are beautiful. They might not be, like, as fun if you're not getting a paid position, but shadowing someone is, like, so helpful and so worth it.
So I guess anybody who just started their photography business, give Rebecca a call. She'll be
Yes,
more than willing to help you guys out.
Well, thank you guys so much for tuning into another week of Wine Wednesdays, and thank you, Ariel, for caring about my business and getting to talk through some of those important questions with me.
No problem, Rebecca. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
Bye!
Bye!